let's talk how you got your first agency client. So most of us didn't say we're starting an agency. How do you get your first client? Just in the marketing side of things, how did you get, not from your hosting side, Nick, you're actually
Yeah.
how did you get your first client?
Client. Yeah. So my first client was a family friend. And he was a broker and ran a small real estate team, reached out to me. I'd been doing Google ads to try to pass the time from really hating web hosting. So I had like 12,000 clients in web hosting, and I would offer free ad like analysis with no direction on it and no thought of doing anything. And I had a real estate guy reach out to me and say, hey, I had this guy ghost me. I mean, tell me if you've ever heard this before. I had this guy doing stuff for me and then just ghosted me, and he did all my Google ad stuff and he took the account. I can't get into it. I can't show you anything. I'm like, coming to find out, that's the most common issue everybody has in the industry. But I did a pretty quick bang up job on what he needed. I came back like 2 weeks later and said, this is twice as good as what the other guy was doing. How much do you want to charge for him? Like, I don't know. And I gave him a stupid number, like a real cheap number, because I didn't care. And then I had 4 other calls the next week from real estate agents that he had talked to throughout the country. And that's when the light bulb went off. Like, maybe I've got something here. But yeah, just on an accident and trying to help a friend out, and ended up being a good move.
Very cool. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, how on earth did you get 12,000 clients of anything?
Well, this could be another conversation for another day. When I was 24 years old, I convinced a private finance guy, an independently wealthy man, to give me $1.2 million to buy a hosting company. So I'm very persuasive. Also, if you've seen my wife, I'm really good at sales. So it was, I started a web hosting company. So the goal was, okay, start one, because I worked at this one, had a small ownership of it, left because I didn't think it was being run right. Started my own, did really well with it, and then had an opportunity to buy it back, the old one that I was at. So we went in, and he, as my partner, he went in and financed it for me, and let a 24-year-old kid that doesn't know how to pay taxes, how to run a business, to run a business with like 12 employees and a massive payroll, massive bills. And it ended up not going well. You guys are going to be surprised to hear that. Yeah. So the second iteration of running a business has gone a lot better.
Awesome. Very cool. I'll have to pick your brain on that. I'd love to hear that full story. Yeah. Dustin, what do you got?
Yeah, our first client was also a friend, met when we went to a real estate investor training years ago. I was in real estate as an agent for years, but I got into that because I was investing, or I was starting to invest at the time, straight before the market crash in 2005-ish, something like that. So I met him. He owned a generator repair company, like a diesel generator type company. Really cool guy. And we'd always talk about marketing stuff. We were in all the internet marketing programs. We just really hit off. Super cool guy. I'm still friends with him today. He lives down here. And we started doing some stuff for his company. We were getting him leads. At that time, I was doing SEO as well. So we ranked him in maps. He was killing it, getting phone calls out the yin yang. It was really awesome. But that's what, I mean, I had been doing Google ads for my real estate for myself at the time to get listings. And that worked out really well with Google AdWords Express. You guys remember that? I felt like I was ahead of my time a little bit, because I started to get reviews in Google Maps. And then I realized, wait a minute, if I run these ads, they have the stars in them. Nobody knew about the stars at the time. It was like, what are these stars? It must mean that this guy is great, right? So just spending money on the AdWords Express with the stars, with the handful of reviews, and nobody in my market had reviews. It was like, this was easy. And then people would come to me pre-positioned to buy. They're like, yeah, we read your reviews. We want to get you over to list the house. I'm like, well, that was easy, because normally you go on a listing appointment without that. It's like, why should we hire you? What's going on? You get that crap. So now it's like, okay, pre-sold. So I'm like, well, there's something to this Google thing. And of course, started doing it for my buddy I just told you about, and then eventually doing it a little bit more and more, and then met my partners, and we did it for a bunch of other companies. We put things together. So that's my story.
Very cool. How about you, Mark?
I just remembered AdWords Express. That was the only way to get onto like Google Maps, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
That was the secret sauce. That was terrible otherwise. But funny thing is, I got a Craigslist app, and I just started searching AdWords everywhere across the country. Anytime I posted up something about AdWords, and then I'd respond to them. And I don't think it would, I don't know if it would work now, but it worked then. And that was 2014. And that's how I ended up, I had some good clients, ended up with some really crazy clients there too. But Craigslist, that Craigslist app, I would just work that every morning, find new stuff that happened. I'd go city by city. And it's funny because I just deleted it from my phone a couple of weeks ago. Like, damn, I still have that thing. I did a quick search just to see if there was still some, people posting up there, but it's not a route that I want to go down, but it worked.
Very cool. How about you, Rob?
I started out in doing it myself, actually. Remember ClickBank? See ClickBank stuff.
ClickBank,
Way
yeah.
back when you could do like
Ooh.
affiliate links still and ads and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I worked for a .com and just did it for them. And then I started getting people on what was the Elance? That's the
Lance, yeah.
Yeah.
whole thing, right? I
Yep.
scooped up a ton of guys on Elance.
Very
And
cool.
I started freelancing from there, and then did that for a while until I met Ed, and then me and Ed got started
Cool.
legitimately. Because I was not
Yeah.
legitimate before Ed. I was all over the place. I would take anything. It was a disaster. But
Mhm.
Ditto. So my first one was from direct mail, and then I at some point started buying spam form leads that Rob was contact form leads that Rob was selling.
yeah,
That's how our relationship
bots.
started. Yeah.
great spots. God,
Then,
garbage.
I had one client that kept begging me to run Google ads, and I did not want, because I was in through all the SEO programs I had been buying over the years. They told me Google ads was dead. I shouldn't be doing Google ads. It's a waste of time. I knew Rob did Google ads. We ended up working out a deal where I'd sell it. He'd sub the work out. He'd do it. It was our first iteration on white label, and it worked exceedingly well. Company grew like 2 or 3 or 4 times in the span of a year, kept pumping up the budget, crushed it, did really well. Opened up my eyes to what Google ads was and how effective it could be and how quick it could be, because what he was doing in 30, 60-day timeframes was just mind blowing compared to SEO taking, 90 days, 180 days type turnaround times. So right then and there, I saw leverage, and I saw power, and I saw an underutilized talent in Rob, and I saw someone that hated talking to people. And knowing myself, I hate fulfilling work. So I was like, oh, this could be interesting. And we hit it off, and soon after started a company. So ended up meeting my business partner online. I ended up meeting my wife online. So I guess I trust people online. So please don't send me any spammy offers, because I'll probably.
I remember telling Heather that, my wife Heather, she thought I was nuts. She's like, "You're out of your fucking mind. Who's this guy you started a business with? You just met him on the internet?" Like, yeah. So you're not giving money, right? You're not giving me any money, right?
Yeah.
Nigerian prince.
Exactly. There's a meme floating around right now. It's Nigerian prince dies in house with $53 million under his mattress,
No way it was taken.
trying to give away his money this whole time.